So good morning. I just want to take this time again to come before you, say thank you again for joining me on this journey. So it's a tough one today, but it is necessary. So I want you to understand that while I come before you and I say these things and I preach and I speak and I talk and I exhort and I try to lift you guys up, please understand that I am not without my own struggles. I am not without my own humanness. I am not without my own problems. So a long story short, I've been doing something to get closer to God, to build my prayer life and to move in the direction that I need to be moving in. And through this process, in this moment, I had a moment of weakness yesterday. I had a moment of weakness in which I said something that I shouldn't have said, and I said it to somebody about somebody, and therefore a couple of things here, right? I engaged in both slander and gossip, if you will, and so I was wrong for that, and I have sinned because of that. I have since repented this. I have since gone to the person both and apologized. I have submitted myself both to God and to them for their forgiveness, as is right, as a Christian man should do, as a man of God should do, as a person who is moving and walking this talk should do. And I will submit myself humbly for your forgiveness if this has hurt any of you to hear these things come out of my mouth. But at the same time, I want you to understand that it's more than that. I'm not here, I guess I should say, yes, for forgiveness, but I'm not here for self-pity. I'm not here to have you pity me at all. I'm here to let you hear what is going on in my heart as a man of God, as a person who has sinned, as a person who, even though I am in the Word, even though I talk each and every day, even though I move in the process of being sanctified and holy each and every single day, I am not without my faults. But in order for me to stand here and to talk to you the way that I need to talk to you and to do these things, I must be transparent. That is what I am called to do, is to be transparent. So even to let you know, in the midst of your struggle, it is okay. Sometimes you will stumble. Sometimes you will fall. The process is getting back up. The process is not staying down and being defeated and being broken. Why should you stand and be broken by an enemy that is defeated, even including your own flesh, right? So don't do that. So I'm standing here saying, yes, I have fallen. I stumbled. I made a mistake. I did something, right? I was caught in a moment and the enemy took advantage of it. And, these things do happen and it's okay. It's okay because these things are going to happen. He says these things are going to happen. It isn't about just falling, right? It's about getting back up. It's about turning away from the thing that caused you to fall in the first place. I understand this, and it's one of those things that we have to make sure that we're always addressing. So here's the thing. Remember that you are still wrapped in flesh. We all are. We are all struggling with that. But there are things that we need to be doing each and every single day when we get up, when we go and we step into this world, right? And the first thing we should be doing is putting on the mind of Christ so that we think like him, so that we speak like him, that we walk like him, right? The other thing we should be doing is putting on the full armor of God. Those are those key components: truth, God's righteousness, peace, it's the helmet of salvation, faith, and the sword of the Spirit, which is this word of God. So I encourage you all this morning that as you listen to this and as you hear these things, understand that I am not perfect. Nobody is perfect, but we strive not for perfection, right? We strive for progress, to move from one place to another in holiness and in sanctification, moving forward in a way that we are called to move. But we have to move in these ways in which God has called us to do. So we should always be moving in the new self. We should always be moving in the new way that God has called us to do. So he calls us in Colossians 3:12, put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. Remember, He first forgave you, so you must be forgiving to others that have hurt you. Here again in Ephesians, right? In the book of Ephesians 4, where he tells us, he says, I urge you, therefore, a prisoner of the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling of which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Right? He's like, in this manner, Paul is telling us constantly to exhibit and live and walk with the love of Jesus Christ. So my issue is that I'm struggling. Not struggling, I'm working through something. God is in the process of healing me in a few things, right? And I recognize that there was a root of bitterness that still exists inside of me. And in my moment of weakness, that root was able to get a hold and ensnare me, right? I don't say, oh, the devil made me do it or anything like that. Remember, the devil doesn't make you do anything. Anybody that tells you otherwise is a liar. He doesn't make you do anything. Demons don't make you do anything. They influence you. They will whisper to you, they will encourage you, but your own sinful flesh is the one that takes the step. Your own sinful flesh is the one that opens the door. Remember, we have talked 2 doors. Each one of us has them. They're called decisions. The door of life, the door of death. And remember that your tongue also controls those doors as well. It isn't just your hand on the doorknob. It's the way you speak and what you say and how you do, right? So you can speak death or you can speak life. Always choose to speak life. Always choose to open the door of life. Always choose to walk in the door of life, because otherwise you are doing nothing but sowing dissension and chaos and harm inside the things that you are trying to do. You are grieving the Spirit of the Lord, which he says do not do, right? So we need to be humble before the Lord. So the other thing that he says, right, is he says, for the desires of the flesh in Galatians 5:17 are these that are opposed to the Spirit. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are evident: sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity. Now here we go. Strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions, envy. And it goes on. Man, you have to watch out for these things. These things, these bitterness, these actions that are in here are all sins of the flesh. Govern yourselves, carry yourselves, protect yourselves with this word and with your prayer. Please, if you don't have one, get one. Get a prayer life, get a Bible, get a mentor, get somebody that's going to help you walk through these things, and also encourage you to put Jesus and put God first in your life, right? Because what he goes on to say, even in the book of Galatians, is this. Once again, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Guys, put on all the fruits of the Spirit, walk in the fruits of the Spirit, move in the fruits of the Spirit daily. Let yourself be consumed or tricked by your flesh, which is going to try and move you into a place where it feels comfortable, where it wants to put up walls, where it wants to surround itself with foolish talk and, anger and bitterness, and try to find itself to be self-righteous, right? And move in a way where, it feels justified so it can take the actions that are pleasing to it. No, root out all bitterness, root out everything that is in you, right? Go to God and purge yourself of all of these things that are attacking you. And I'm telling you, we're constantly under attack, but we have to be aware of these things so that we can move against them in the way that God tells us to move against them, and to always be aware and mindful and discerning of these things that are coming against us, so that when we do see them, we recognize them and we can turn away from them, and we can also look ahead to avoid them when they come upon us. So listen, I thank you all for being with me. I thank you all for just being a part of this talk today, and being a part of this walk, right? This journey. It isn't just for me. It's for everybody else. And I'm telling you, I'm not here, again, I'm not using this here. I'm not even using, this isn't a sermon. This isn't me preaching. This is me using my own life as an example so that you can see in real time that things do happen against you. Even when you're following Christ, even when you're moving in faith, even when you're operating under the Spirit of the Lord, it still happens, and it's okay. It's what you do afterward. So I'm using this as a moment for me to be transparent and to me to be accountable and responsible, not just to the people that are hurt, and definitely not only to myself, but to God. I have to do that. I have to walk in obedience. So that is what I'm doing right here. So please take this as an example. Examine your own lives, just as the word says. Let every man examine himself. Look at what's going on around you. Look at your own life. Are you trapped by a root of bitterness? Is there something that is still plaguing you? Is there something that is hurting you? Is there something that is separating you from, not from another person? That's one thing, but is it separating you from God? Is it moving you in a way where it is pushing you and moving you far away from God instead of bringing you closer to God? So in the midst of bringing you closer to God, you are able to love people the way that God tells you to love them, because you now are loving God the way He's telling you to love Him, having a relationship with Him, and then moving that horizontally across other people. We all have to do it, right? So focus on the good things today. Focus on the blessings today. Focus on the fruits of the Spirit today. Walk in harmony and peace and unity today. Again, if the people that were harmed by me are to see this, even though I have said these things personally to their face, so there is no mystery about this, but I still pray, right, that you find forgiveness in your heart for me, and have patience with me, even as I have to have patience with myself, so that I can go and move along this walk and keep walking the talk, right? So I love you all. I thank you all. It's getting a little loud out here, but the joy and the pleasure and the risks of being outside while we're out here praising God and moving in the way that He calls us to move. Thank you again. I love you all. Be blessed more than before.